You're about to sign the biggest deal of your life. The labels love you. The advance looks absolutely tantalizing, and your team is just saying, just sign it. But here's what no one tells you: most artists who sign the contract or the agreement without reading the fine prints spend the next decade of their life trying to buy their freedom back. I am going to break down the 5 things every single artist must understand before putting pen to paper. So, if you have a deal on the table, don't sign it yet. Hold up. Watch this video. Make sure you have a better understanding before you sign that agreement. Let's dive into today's video. Welcome back to the channel. I am Jane Ezeanaka-Okoye, an entertainment lawyer, and in this series, I am going to break down the legal side of the music industry in plain English. Baby, no law degree is required. Number one, understand the kind of deal you're signing. Let's start from there. You need to know what kind of deal you're signing. And right now, the most common deal that is on the table for most labels is something called a 360 deal. Let me explain that. In a traditional deal, the label funds your music, and in exchange, they take a cut of your sales, your record sales, and that's about it. But in a 360 deal, the label gets a cut of every single thing: your touring revenue, your merchandise, your endorsement deal, your sync licensing, every single thing, they get a cut in there. This does not automatically make this a bad deal for you. Labels always argue that under a 360 deal, they invest a lot more into your career, and obviously they have to make back their profit. It's a business. You need to understand you are a business. But you need to understand what you're signing away or what you're signing yourself into, not after you've signed your agreement. Number two, master's ownership. You've heard of this one before. This is the one that's ended careers. This is the one that's introduced lawsuits left, right, and center. But you've probably heard of people talking about master's ownership, master's ownership. But what exactly does master's ownership even mean? What is a master's? When you record a song, two copyrights are created in that very moment. So the first one is called the composition. This is the melody, this is the lyrics. And then the master's recording, this is the actual version of the song that we get to hear, that we bump and dance to in the clubs. This is what we shake our, in the art. That is the master's recording. In most traditional record deal, the label owns the masters. You make the music, they own the recording. That means they get to decide how it is used, how it is licensed, and how it is distributed. And also they collect majority of the income from that recording. If you're cheeky, if you have guts, if you have a good entertainment lawyer, you can always push for full ownership. And if they don't agree, at least they should have a revision clause in the agreement, which allows it to revert back to you maybe after 10 years, 15 years, rather than them owning it forever. This is a non-negotiable for long-term success. Your masters is truly how you build your legacy. Number three, we're going to talk about the advance, and this is going to shock a lot of you. The advance they give you is not free money. That's like the bank giving you a loan. That's not free money. When a label gives you a £500,000 advance, that money has to be paid back in full, clearly with interest. However, this payment does not have to be a direct payment. That payment is taken out of your royalties. This is what we call recoupment. Here is how it works. Let's say that your royalty rate is 20%, and the album that you just released generated, let's say, £2 million in revenue. The label keeps 80% of that income. So that means you have about 400,000 left in royalties. However, you're still owing the label 500,000. That means you are in a hole by 100,000. You don't get a check till you pay off the 100k, baby. You do not get a check, a dime, nada. That's exactly how it works. So it's not free money. Here's what to do. Before you sign that agreement, get them to give you a list of every single thing and every single expenses that are recoupable. Is it recording costs? Is it video production? Is it your travels? Let them know, and then run it by your entertainment lawyer, and then they will run the numbers for you, because that 500k can turn to 1M real quick. So it's better to have those numbers to confirm before you actually sign any agreement. Number 4, find out how long you're actually signing your agreement for. So most label contracts are not labeled 3-year deals or 5-year deals. They are more so structured around your album cycle with the option to renew it. The label commits to one album and then they have the option to proceed with the next album and sometimes the second album, third album, fourth album, which can quickly turn to 5, 6, 7 years real quick. The thing is, in this agreement, the label gets to decide whether they want to renew that contract with you and you don't have a say in it. So if after that first album, you're like, no, I don't really want to work with this label again, you don't have that option. They get to decide, nope, you're going to do a second album, yep, and a third one, and you don't get to do anything about it. Yeah, that's literally what it says. Here's what to kind of look out for. Put a time limit on the option period. Minimum release obligation. This means that they must release your music within a certain time frame, and an exit clause if you're not interested. One thing I've really found out is that a lot of agreements in these deals do not have an exit clause, so you can't leave unless they say, I don't want to do another album with you, which you're stuck if they said, okay, for the next 10 years, yep, you're going to keep giving us albums. There's nothing you can do about that because according to the contract that you've signed, there's no exit clause and they have the option to renew. Number 5 is creative control. This is the one that a lot of creative actually overlook because they are so focused on the advance. But losing creative control is almost as damaging as a bad royalty rate. Some agreements give the label the right to kind of refuse or reject any music that you put in and like, okay, I want to release this in the album. They can say no. We don't want you to release this song. I want to release this album. No. I want to release a single. No. Why? Because you do not have the creative control. They get to say what goes out and what doesn't. They could also have an input on your image. So that means that the way that you show up online, how you dress, the way you speak, the way you present yourself as a brand, because you, as I said, are a business. Now, some sort of label input is actually expected. It's a must. They're investing money in you. Therefore, they're going to let you know this is not going to work or this is going to work. But however, there's a big difference between we're working together as a team and you're being controlled in the sense of we let you know what you're going to do, what you're going to release, what you're going to do on your social media and all that stuff. So it's very, very good to be very clear on who has the creative control in your music and in your career as an artist. Now, none of this means that you should run away from record deals. Please, let's be serious. The same way you take a loan from a bank to start a business, it's a risk. Everything is a risk. The right label with the right knowledge can legit launch your career into something absolutely phenomenal. So therefore, it's good that you have an entertainment lawyer on your team that is able to go through disagreements and let you know, okay, this works best and this doesn't work best. So if you find this video helpful, kindly hit that like button and subscribe to this channel. If you have any questions for me, please kindly comment it in the comment section or send me a DM on Instagram and I'll be more than happy to kind of answer your questions. So thank you so much for engaging in this video today and I hope this video was truly helpful.